All right, man. So Raw has officially ended, and yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. I genuinely am actually like defeated at this moment because look. Jey Uso's championship reign was awful, okay? We already know that. It was garbage. We all know this, okay? I've been saying this for weeks, you know what I'm saying? The yeeting and the 4 letters, 1 word, you know what I'm saying? His championship reign was 4 weeks, 1 month, yeet, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, but this is the thing. This product has genuinely defeated me at this point. It is lifeless. It is bad. It is horrible, and the decision making by Triple Fraud is just atrocious. Something just isn't right with this company. Well, there's multiple things, obviously. We know what they are. I've been breaking them down for weeks, obviously, but this is just the situation that we are in. We just watched Jey Uso's rise as becoming the top babyface, or one of the top babyfaces in WWE, followed by him winning a Royal Rumble unexpectedly, may I add you, which they did not need to have Jey win it. You could have had Roman win it. You could have had Cena win it. You could have had Punk win it. You could have had Rollins win it. You could have had Logan Paul win it if you wanted. You could have LA Knight win it if he wanted to, right? But they didn't do any of that. They sacrificed the Royal Rumble to give to Jey Uso, the Yeet Master. Then after we do that, we get out of that moment and we now fast forward to WrestleMania after a 10-week garbage build and a mediocre at best match at Mania between Jey and Gunther. Jey won the world title. Then 5 weeks later now, or 6 weeks later I guess it is, he now lost to Gunther for that same world championship. They are wasting our time. I cannot possibly sit here and put up with this for any longer. You know what I'm saying? This is unbearable, man. They are basically, WWE is telling you to your face, nothing matters. Because you know that Gunther is going to be a transitional champion. He's not holding this belt past SummerSlam, and you know that. You know this. Roman Reigns is nowhere to be found. He's the biggest and best star in the company. He's nowhere to be found. John Cena, nowhere to be found most nights because he only has 36 dates. They're around 12 months of the year. You know, he's not showing up consistently. We already know this. CM Punk does not wrestle as consistently either. Randy Orton doesn't even show up after he loses a match on a PLE. It's unbearable, man. The constant poor decision making is unbelievable. You just had a situation where you had LA Knight and Seth Rollins in a Money in the Bank ladder match. You mean to tell me that if you planned out a month in advance that Jey Uso was going to defend versus Gunther on the Raw after Money in the Bank, why could you not have a situation where LA Knight came in and just cashed in on Jey after the match, or cashed in on a knocked out Jey or Gunther during the match, or even after the match, even if Gunther won, have LA Knight cash in and take the world championship from Gunther? There's just like, how do you not think of that? How do you not think of the fact that Seth Rollins, who is in the biggest faction on the show, you know what I'm saying? He's now the top guy on the show with his new faction with Brunson and Heyman and Braun Breaker. And you didn't think to maybe have Seth Rollins be the one to dethrone Jey Uso and take the title so he can actually, you know, get his faction over, you know? Like, how do you not do this? Drew McIntyre, after everything he's done, where's his rematch with Jey Uso from what happened on Raw and Netflix earlier this year? He couldn't get a world championship. You know what I'm saying? None of this makes any sense, and it's unbearable. Why couldn't Logan Paul get a world championship shot? If it's going to be a transitional 2-month title reign, you might as well give it to someone who hasn't had it yet. You know, just experiment with it. But there's no attention to detail. There's no thought out process. None of this stuff makes sense, and we're going to discuss this in a second. But this Raw is becoming, this product as a whole is just becoming so lifeless and unwatchable. It's difficult. I don't know how much longer I can sit down and watch these shows, because it's getting to a point now where it's genuinely infuriating. Not in the sense of I want to yell and rage. It's just annoying, man. I don't want to watch wrestling go down the drain like this, but this is stupid. You can't convince me that Gunther won the belt at last year at SummerSlam in August of 2024. We're now in June of 2025, and we can effectively confirm that nothing meaningful or exciting has happened revolving around the World Heavyweight Championship at all in the last 10 months since SummerSlam. Nothing has happened at all. It's not like this is unbearable, man. When is the last time we've had 10 months straight with a world championship essentially being meaningless and no one cares about it and nothing exciting is happening around it? This is unwatchable, man. It's unbearable, bro. But as per usual, your boy gonna fight it out, and I'm gonna get these reviews to you guys regardless, okay? This episode of Raw was largely meaningless, and nothing really happened, so I have nothing to say about this, okay? We're gonna talk about more about the Jey Uso and the Gunther main event and all the stuff with that and Seth Rollins. I have so much stuff to talk about in this review. This may not be as edited as it normally is, but, you know, we're gonna get through this stuff because I have a lot to talk about, so let's just get into it, man. Number one, John Cena basically comes out and he's talking to CM Punk. Well, before CM Punk comes out, John Cena basically talks, you know what I'm saying, about, you know, what happened at Money in the Bank, which again, this is another issue that we have. This Money in the Bank, what was the point of this Money in the Bank? I'm just asking you guys a serious question. We just had Gunther, who was worn out after that match with Jey Uso and almost tapped out. Like, he tapped out 5 weeks ago. Now he gets in the sleeper hold and doesn't tap out, just powers out of it, okay? Then you have a situation, Rollins is backstage, has 2 lackeys to help do his job for him, and he has a Money in the Bank briefcase. Intelligence would showcase that Rollins would go down to the ring, have Braun Breaker spear Gunther, have Brunson Reed tsunami Gunther 2 or 3 times, then hit a curb stomp on Gunther, cash in the contract, and win the title in 2 seconds. That's what should have happened. That's what makes the most sense. If you're going to have the belt change, just do it now. You know what I'm saying? Just have Rollins get the belt now. Don't hold it out. There's no point of waiting if you can just do it now. Anyways, you have that situation. You also have the fact that the main event, the tag match at Money in the Bank, is meaningless. Why did this match matter? Why? Can someone please explain to me why this match mattered? Cody Rhodes pinned John Cena in the middle of the ring just for us to get announced that we are going to get Cody Rhodes in the King of the Ring tournament to win a championship rematch versus John Cena? What are we doing? Roman just had the belt for 4 years, gets no rematch when he loses the belt. Cody has the belt for nearly 400 days, gets no rematch when he wins the belt. But Gunther got a rematch. Rhea Ripley complained for 5 weeks and she got a rematch. Like, what is the logic on any of this? There's no effort put into this storytelling. It's not, you cannot possibly put up with this for that long. Like, this is impossible to put up with now. It's impossible. I can't accept any of this. From here on out, until I see an actual good show, every show is getting a 0 out of 10. Straight up, this is a 0 out of 10 Raw. No joke about it. I'm not even joking. This is embarrassing. You know, I may give it a 1 because of what R-Truth was doing, Ron Killings, but still, this is just a disaster, man. The King of the Ring makes no sense. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker are both in the King of the Ring tournament. For what reason? They're on separate sides of the bracket, too. So what happens if they both main event the bracket and they win? What, are they going to go fight their own buddy, Seth Rollins, who's eventually going to have the world title? Or are they going to go win another world title and Rollins goes to get another one? Bronson Reed's going to beat the crap out of Braun Breaker to get a title? What's the point of the faction then? There's no thought put into any of this. John Cena comes out and calls fans keyboard warriors and armchair warriors for wanting R-Truth to come back for a gimmick that they won't even care about in a year. Obviously, that is true. You know, if R-Truth would have kept his exact gimmick, fans would have, been hyped to get him back, but they would have given up on this dude after like a few months. That's just how fickle the fans are at this point. And then John Cena brings up his dates and how he doesn't have many left and how he's beat everyone's best. He beat Orton, he beat Cody, and he beat R-Truth. And because of that, John Cena basically says there's no competition and no one's left to beat him. Then CM Punk comes out, he gets a pop, you know what I'm saying? You have basically a nostalgia act where these two are in the ring, you know what I'm saying, all the years and all the times they fought against each other, we get these two standing off in the ring again. I'm thinking CM Punk's gonna grill this dude on the mic. Obviously, that's not what happens. CM Punk basically comes out there and talks about how he's here for the people. I don't want to see the people. I don't want to fight for the people that never chose you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what are you even talking about, man? The people were behind John Cena multiple times throughout his career, but it is what it is. We'll just act like that isn't true. Then we also have to move on. CM Punk basically then discusses the fact that he knows that John Cena is not, does not believe in what he's doing. Because before he put Punk in the STF at Chamber to win the match, he said, I'm sorry, because he knows he has remorse for his actions and he knows he's doing the wrong thing. And so Punk basically said, after I beat you at Elimination Chamber, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to take that championship from you. There's a whole lot of taking back my title. I never lost, yeah. But CM Punk said he's going to take back the championship from Cena and force Cena to, apologize to the fans the last 6 months of his career. And to beat the monster that is John Cena now, he has to be a monster. Then John Cena basically challenges him to a match, and they're going to fight at Night of Champions for the WWE Championship, okay? And that's basically that. This then ends with Seth Rollins, his music hitting. He comes out on the ramp, and he's holding his Money in the Bank briefcase in his hand, basically flexing the fact that he can cash in at any moment. He obviously isn't going to cash in at any moment because he's had multiple times to do it already and hasn't done anything, but it is what it is. Then we get a look at the Night of Champions King of the Ring bracket. Now, let's just talk about the women's bracket first, because no one really cares about this. Let's be honest with ourselves. It's either going to be likely Jade Cargill or maybe Roxanne Perez might squeak in, but what I think should happen is Jade Cargill should win this and then face Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam, beat Tiffany Stratton, and then what should happen is that Naomi should cash in on Jade after the match, or probably shortly after the match or the SmackDown afterwards, and take the title, fully completing this story arc with her and Jade, and even furthering it as well, because then you can have Jade versus Naomi versus maybe Bianca in a triple threat for the WWE Women's World Championship. So, you know what I'm saying? You have that situation, okay? So that's that with the women's side. Then the men's side just makes no sense. Again, Cody Rhodes, literally the fact that he's in this tournament lets you know he's advancing to the finals. So there's nothing else to even talk about with this. If Cody Rhodes somehow loses it, it'll only be to Sami Zayn because Sami Zayn is, he's massive in Saudi Arabia, you know what I'm saying, when they go to these shows. So they're likely going to have Sami win that match at Saudi Arabia, or he's going to be in it at the very minimum. So LA Knight, again, is in this bracket. He's probably not even going to come close to winning this tournament. And if he does, that's great. He's still not going to win the tournament itself because he's not beating Cody Rhodes. So it's over. We have to understand these things and just look at it for what it is. The people that we want to win championships and to succeed in this company are not going to, because Triple H is the big guy. He's the fiend. I'm the game. I know everything. It was a part of the show. It was a work. Dude, the fact that Triple H can sit here and lie to us to our faces while booking some of the worst content ever is just unbearable, man. Like, how can anyone support this garbage? I don't get, how can you support this booking? How? I don't understand it. I don't give a crap if Gunther winning was unpredictable. You could have had it be unpredictable in the best way possible with a Knight or a Rollins or a McIntyre or a Punk or anyone else winning a world title. Why did it have to be the same dude who just had it for 8 months and had one of the worst championship reigns ever in Gunther? It's not acceptable, man. I'm so tired of this garbage. Anyways, we then get a women's fatal four-way, which was basically just full of botches and glaze. We had this choreographed, this is awesome moment where anytime there's a triple threat or a fatal four-way, two people get up on the top rope, someone comes underneath them and does the power bomb to both of them or to one of them, and then, into a superplex on top. And basically that takes place, and the crowd chants, "This is awesome! This is awesome!" Like, come on, man. Not everything is awesome. You do one decent move and everything is just awesome. It's peak. It's cinema. It's amazing. Like, stop. Man, I'm about to have a heel turn, bro. This show is actually going to make me turn heel. Like, it's getting to that point. I might just, man, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, bro? Your boy C-Jack's about to turn heel, bro, but for real. Anyways, that's not the point. Roxanne Perez ends up winning this match, which I'm okay with, because as long as it wasn't Rhea or Liv, I'm good with it, okay? No one really cares about this. They continue to play on this, this narrative that Liv and Roxanne have tension with each other, and that's basically the end of this discussion. Roxanne Perez pins Kairi Sane after she gets a finisher on Liv, and that's that. We then get to one of the worst and lifeless segments one of the most worst and lifeless segments I've ever seen, I guess I should say. Becky Lynch comes out to basically zero reaction, dang near. She then gets on the mic and starts talking, gets slightly booed, bores us to death, which is shocking because Becky Lynch is normally great on the mic, but this was just a very boring and forgettable promo. I tuned out completely. She then says, "Welcome to the Big Leagues Intercontinental Championship." Then Lyra Valkyria comes out, and from behind Becky Lynch comes Bayley. Bayley is officially back, and she gets basically nearly no reaction because nobody cares. Nobody cares about what Lyra Valkyria is doing. No one cares about what Bayley is doing, and no one cares about what Becky Lynch is doing right now. It's just as simple as that. If the story is not booked correctly, and you can't get people invested, excited, or emotionally, intrigued by what's happening on the TV screen, why would anybody care about this? I don't give a crap that Bayley's back. What is she left for, 6 weeks, and she's back? So what? You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares about this garbage, man? It's unbearable, man. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is that Bayley is back, and now we're going to have this triple threat, situation kind of for the Intercontinental Championship. And, who cares? Then we get R-Truth. This is by far de facto the best part of the night. R-Truth comes out and basically tells everyone that your voice matters. I am back in WWE because of you. And then, he basically says that the crowd's going crazy. They're excited, you know what I'm saying? Because it is pretty cool. The fans basically are responsible for getting R-Truth to get his job back in WWE because Triple Fraudulence decided to fire him for no good reason. And then R-Truth proceeds to say, I'm not just a gimmick. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just a comedy act. I'm not just a sideshow. I am R-Truth, and I am serious. You know what I'm saying? And R-Truth says, I'm done being R-Truth. I'm more than that. I'm Ron Killings. He then pulls out a pair of scissors and actually cuts his hair off. Like, just straight up, just cuts it all off. You know what I'm saying? And then, he balls it up in his hand, and he basically says that I am the truth. I'm done being treated as a joke, and you know what I'm saying? I am the truth, or nothing but the truth. You know what I mean? So it was a really, really good moment. Crowd loved the promo. I thought it was interesting and engaging because it gets you talking about what R-Truth is doing, and it actually has you invested in what's going to happen next for this guy. Let's just hope they don't fumble it like they've done with multiple other storylines that look promising at the beginning, but go nowhere. Like the New Day heel turn, like Cody finishing his story. You know what I'm saying? And even though we knew after he won the belt, it was going to immediately become garbage. Like Gunther potentially winning a world championship. I'm sure fans wanted to see that. You got it. It sucked. So at the end of the day, it's all about Triple H and the way he books it, and he probably isn't going to book it well. We then get to the Fatal 4-Way with the men's side. It's the same thing as per usual. A bunch of no-selling. Braun Breaker just no-sells a bunch of moves. This is the same dude who got pinned by Sami Zayn and Jey Uso last year. Now he's no-selling moves. It's not like, again, I cannot stress this enough. None of this stuff has any thought or reasoning put to it at all. At all. There's no reasoning or thought put to any of this. You cannot convince me that in any way, shape, or form that someone who got pinned by Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, two mid-card jobbers, pinned this dude, and you mean to tell me that this same guy now is no-selling moves from Sami Zayn, the same person who pinned him. He's no-selling moves from Penta, and then getting up and jumping across announce tables. Dominic Mysterio gets up after he no-sells and dives outside of the ring. Then Sami Zayn gets up after he no-sells and does a moonsault. Then Penta gets up and does Cero Miedo, and then jumps off of the top of the top of the turnbuckle. Like, it's not, none of this stuff is good. I understand you want to have constant action, and I get that, but there has to be action with a reason and action that actually makes sense and is entertaining. It's not entertaining seeing people take 90 moves, no-selling every single one of those moves, and then randomly being knocked out for 3 seconds at the end of the match. It makes no sense, and it's stupid. It makes WWE and the wrestling matches just look corny. That's what it does. It makes the matches look really corny and just cheesy and nonsensical, in my personal opinion. Not all the time it does that, but in a lot of cases it really does. The bottom line is, Braun Breaker gets beat up by LA Knight at the end of this match, and ultimately this results in the fact that, I forget who even won this match. Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn hits a haluva kick on Dominic Mysterio and gets the W, okay? Now, that's basically the situation with that. We don't know why Bronson Reed was sitting backstage with Rollins rather than helping Braun win this match. If Rollins really wants to help Braun get full power and get another championship, well, he gets another championship, or, with Bronson Reed wants him to do that too, they would all be out there at ringside helping and making sure Braun wins this match. If the Judgment Day helps Dominic Mysterio win meaningless matches versus Penta, why the heck would we not get a situation where this new Rollins faction wouldn't be helping out Braun to win this match? You get what I mean? Again, no thoughts put into any of this, but it doesn't get talked about. We just ignore it and just gloss over it. These things have to start making sense. They have to feel grandiose. We have to get larger than life stories. We need epic moments. We need epic storylines. We need big fight feel PLEs that have more than 4 or 5 matches on the card. This is what we need more of. We don't need more of Penta and Cero Miedo. We don't need more of mid-card mania every week. We don't need AJ Styles fighting Chad Gable, which I didn't even remember to talk about, but this match took place and it looks like AJ Styles got hurt. Why is a 50-year-old AJ Styles fighting Chad Gable for nothing? You know what I'm saying? It's not, whatever. Let's just move on. Nikki Bella then comes out. Nikki Bella comes out. It's good to see Nikki Bella, you know what I'm saying? What's it called? It's crazy to know that, she was winning Divas Championships like 12 to 13 years ago, I was a little bro when that was taking place, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's great to see Nikki Bella. She basically comes out and says that Evolution, the all-women's pay-per-view Evolution is happening next month in July. Then as she starts to name call like how great the women's division is today and how amazing everything is, she basically then brings up the fact that, what's it called? Some of the great women that she likes that she thinks are amazing, like Rhea Ripley and Stephanie Vaquet. She calls her Vaquet. You know what I'm saying? And then we have, what's it called? Who else did she bring up? Bianca Belair and a couple others, Io Sky, etc. Then after this, we get Liv Morgan comes out, and she actually does a solid job on the mic for once. She basically says that she's been carrying the women's division. She's the best in the division. She's proven it time in and time out. And that she says that Nikki Bella is jealous because Liv Morgan has a man, she has a championship, and she has respect. This then pisses off Nikki Bella, and she says, are you sure Dominic Mysterio is your man, or is he Roxanne Perez's? Then she basically tries to walk out of the ring. Then Liv Morgan basically throws her mic down and says something. I forget what she said at the end. And then hits the Oblivion on Nikki Bella, and then that's it. So I'm assuming we're going to get Nikki Bella versus Liv Morgan for air at Evolution. So there you have that. And then we get to the main event. The main event was Jey Uso versus Gunther. And as you can tell, how do I describe this, man? I'm just disappointed. Very upset with the way that this was booked. Because there's nothing, why would you do this? Why would you spend 5 or 6 months building up Jey Uso and then have him lose in 5 weeks of a championship reign? It's not acceptable. This isn't something I'm even going to shout at or be mad. I don't really care about any of that stuff. This is just a simple fact of the merits of this doesn't make any sense. There is multiple scenarios in which you could have done this. And I will say, Jey Uso is in a situation where, what's it called? His father, Rikishi, I think it was a couple months ago leading to Mania or shortly after Mania, said that Jey Uso, who's his son, was exhausted, just because of all the wear and tear, the traveling, all the matches, you know what I'm saying? This is a guy who was a tag team wrestler, who's now being thrust into the main event scene as the world championship level guy. It's a large juxtaposition. You get what I mean? And so I could see how Jey was very tired. He looked very tired. He looked out of place as champion, and we know these things. And we knew this championship reign was not going to last any longer than maybe SummerSlam. Like, this was destined to be a 3 to 4 month title reign at max, So I'm not mad that he lost the belt necessarily, but I'm mad at who he lost it to, and I'm mad about the fact that they took it off of him this quickly, unless Jey wanted to lose this match because he was tired and he decided it would be a good time to give it up, and he achieved his dream of being a world champion, which is amazing for Jey Uso, the actual human being, okay? But the fact is, you cannot do this. You cannot put the same belt that this dude lost at Mania in Gunther and give it back to him 6 weeks later. That is bad booking. It shows that you didn't think anything out in advance. You obviously did not expect Jey Uso's championship reign to go this poorly. But again, Triple H, you're the one booking this. So you should have known what you were capable of in your booking capacities, and you should have never had Jey Uso win the Rumble. You should have had someone like Rollins or Punk win the Rumble, and then they are the ones to beat Gunther at WrestleMania. That way we could have just had a straight up Roman versus Rollins, a Roman versus Rollins match at night one, rather than a thrown together triple threat that did absolutely nothing for anybody. This Rollins faction is most people probably think it's mediocre / bad, and it doesn't make any sense because it doesn't. So it's just not, it's not acceptable, man. I have nothing to say about this garbage. I obviously have a lot more to say, but it's just bothering me even talking about this, man. Like, you have LA Knight, who's been so over and so great for the last few years, and he gets nothing. He can't even win anything above a U.S. championship, bro. He got pinned clean by Shinsuke Nakamura. Like, really? You have Drew McIntyre. He has a great year in 2024. He didn't even get a chance to win the Royal Rumble. Man. He just comes out and just loses and jobs out, gets knocked out by Damian Priest, and that's that. Boom. Goodbye, Drew. There you go. Cody Rhodes. Awful match with John Cena, has 10 title defenses in a year or so, then gets jobbed out by Cena at Mania, disappears for 5 weeks. There you go. Roman Reigns gets pinned by Seth Rollins. Paul Heyman turns on him for no legitimate reason when you really look back at it, and boom, there you go. Roman's gone. John Cena's a super part-timer. It's like there's no attention to detail, and there's zero effort put into making there be any type of gravitas. None of the champions offer you anything. Dominic Mysterio, I forgot he was even world champion or Intercontinental champion, you know what I'm saying, until I was reminded of this at Money in the Bank when he fought Octagon Jr., whatever the dude's name was, Like, but Lyra Valkyria gave us nothing as well as Intercontinental champion. What, 2 good matches in 5 months? That's what we're calling a great champion. I mean, like, what are we doing? What is the base minimum for this? I grew up, I was watching amazing world champions, amazing WWE champions, your heel Ortons, your John Cenas, your Batistas, etc., defending the title, having memorable segments, having memorable face and heel turns, having good matches that are memorable that you still go back and watch to these days, even though they're decades past since the match has happened. What championship match or what championship moment, what championship reign in recent history besides Roman Reigns makes you want to feel that way about the title reign? You get what I'm saying? Like, that part is just very frustrating to me, bro. And, I'm tired. I'm disappointed. I don't want to go on and ramble about this for much longer because I am going to discuss this likely in a video tomorrow or the day after, but I've essentially given up, man. I have no faith in this product anymore. I have absolutely zero faith. I never had any really to begin with Triple H, but, after Mania 40, he did a good job there. He was part of the part that did the good job at that show, so I was like, you know what? Maybe this will be something special down the line, but it's only gotten worse, and it continues to get worse and worse every week, and I don't know how, I have no faith in this product anymore, man. I mean, maybe something changes in a couple months, but I genuinely have nothing. I have nothing left to say. This is a horrible booking decision. It wasn't given attention to detail. It wasn't given any thought. You could have easily given a chance for LA Knight or Rollins or someone else to win the championship, but no, we don't get that. We get Gunther winning it back to have a 2-month transitional championship reign. It's I don't even know what to say, man. I'm sorry. I'm not using more energy in this video, but it's like, dude. How can I bring energy to this garbage? It's lifeless, so it has to be treated as such. This episode of Raw gets a 1 out of 10. It was absolute garbage, and yeah, we'll have a video tomorrow discussing more of this stuff and more of my feelings about this situation, but it's just horrible. I have nothing to say anymore, man. You guys have a great day. No. You say something I will always do no matter what is tell you guys thank you for your support always. Have a phenomenal day. Peace out. In one love. I'll see you guys tomorrow.